Right, so I've just left the bike at Roy Pidcock's there. Dropped my bike off for its 7,000 mile service. The Tiger Triumph dealership is a brisk 10-minute walk down the road. So I'm walking down the road with all my clobber. Did ring up Tiger Triumph in Nottingham to say, could you have it for longer than an hour? They says no, because it's so popular, it's booked out all day on test drives. Never ridden a Triumph before. It's the 1200, the new 1200. It's been at all the shows this year. Been to the NEC show and the Carol Nash motorcycle show in London. I've seen it, it looks very nice. So this is the one I'm going on, the 1200, the blue. I'm not so keen on the blue model, but first impressions getting on it. It's on its lowest seat setting. There we go. First impressions, lots of flies on it's not been cleaned. Let's adjust these mirrors. Avoid that sand. There we go, put £5 in. Same fuel lid as the GS, but keeps popping up. Good morning everyone, welcome to DMT. I'm on the Tiger Triumph GT Pro. First impression video. I've got the hill start control, which is the same, pulling the handbrake and the hill start control comes on. I do like the sound of the engine, I'm warming to it. And the tank's quite narrow here, and it's kind of broadens out the further forward it goes. It's got a quite nice, and it doesn't feel as wide as the GS, so you're going to get some slipstream there from the tank, I guess. The engine you feel that purring. I guess it's the typical Tiger Triumph purr. It's like a thumping noise. It's very nice. Also, we've got the 6 gears, shaft driven. I like the seating position. It's not dissimilar to the GS. It feels a tad wider, but no, it's very similar. Note the lightness, and the lightness of a bike is a big factor, how it handles, etc. And it just feels like a 600. Very light. We know it's a bit grunchy. It's got a bit more torque and bhp than the GS. I love this up-down windshield. Within a second, it's down or up, not a windy thing like the GS. So that's a tick for the Triumph. I prefer the GS cluster control. This is very similar on the Triumph, but there's just something about it, just seems a bit neater on the GS, on the BMW. I like the digital analog display there on the TFT. It shows a traditional dial but in a digital format. That's quite nice. One thing I'm not used to is the forks dropping down at the front, which you don't get. That you get the anti-dive with the GS. Yeah, with wind flow, it's probably a similar sort of height. It feels like it's a bit lower when I'm just going on the drag or the wind turbulence that I'm getting on my helmet. That's at its maximum. It just feels like it's a little bit lower than the GS, but you've got these extra little ducts here that for the airflow to go around. I would say that the drag or the wind turbulence is probably a little bit better. It did feel a bit bumpy there going over those bumps, but it all depends what the setting's on, doesn't it? Just overtaken that truck, and I would say that did have a little bit of acceleration, a bit of a grunt behind it then, overtaking that truck. Yeah, that was very nice. And the vibration in my right hand on the handlebar as it accelerated away, as the power kicked in, was you could feel the power. And the brakes are quite good, very responsive. Just opened it up there and did a bit of a sharp brake. Yeah, very good sharp brake in there, very responsive, very sure, very stable, very smooth, comfortable ride at 60. Slight movement and it just reacts very, very nicely. I was trying to think of an analogy comparing it to the bike that I've already got. I think that the GS 1250 TE and the Tiger Triumph GT Pro are like twin brothers, only you get that slight variation in between the personalities. The personalities of the two bikes, and this I can't really give this a review with an hour and a half riding it. I've never ridden a Triumph before, but first impressions of this Tiger Triumph GT Pro 1200 in the blue variant obviously is very light. I do like the lightness, you can throw it around, and it's got a bit more power than the GS. So if you're going for the brother that had a bit more spark to it, if you like, and these are all small margins. The GT Pro is slightly lighter, slightly faster, and if that rocks your boat, then obviously that's nice. Brake reservoir, these seem a little bit plasticky, and little things like this make the bike lighter across the board. The suspension, I would say the GS is slightly better. Just going over some of the bumps, just felt like it was a bit bumpier. The engine sounds lovely. I did open it up a little bit on the dual carriageway, and it did accelerate quite nicely. And the horn is just like all bikes, rubbish. And I can't give this as much of a review after an hour and a half, but what I can say, I do really like it. I'm just starting to get a feel for it. It's very light, it's very nippy, it's got a bit of grunt, it's a lovely sound. I like some of the controls, don't like some of the controls. There's always going to be things you like, some things you don't like compared to another bike that you ride, for example. But yeah, I do like this bike, it's very nice. I can understand why they're all raving about it. And I guess one of the fundamental things about a bike is it quick? Has it got a bit of acceleration? This bike certainly has that. It's an adventure tourer, but it's the road version. You can get the rally versions, but this is very nice. I do like it. I don't know why there's a clutch lever on it, because the automatic gear shifter, foot gear shifter, is fantastic. You can just change gears up and down on that all day long without using the clutch. Yeah, so very nice, I like it. If I won the lottery, I'd buy one of these, I think. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe and press the bell notification for future videos.